All right, everyone, we're back with our hot topic segment. We have a little thing this week that we want to hit on Major League Baseball payrolls, which is kind of interesting looking into it. Who's making the playoffs in baseball, and comparing a little bit to the NFL and the salary cap type of deal. We got Prince Fielder again. He's back again.
Prince.
Former asshat. He's back on the radar.
Last time I checked, they weren't making the playoffs.
Hold on, real quick about Prince. In the short-lived of the asshat, he could be the first two-time asshat. I mean,
he's making a push.
He's making a hard push. I mean, who's ever seen somebody walk around the field? Here I come to second base. I mean, really.
And we got a little Terrell Pryor. I don't know if you heard this one come up this morning.
Terrell.
This is good, but let's start off with the payrolls. I mean, the stat is right now 7 of the top 9 highest paid teams are in the playoffs in baseball.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I say basically, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
It's the market. You know, that's what happens. I mean, look, are we going to be, Pittsburghs of the world? These teams in the back leagues, they're never going to go anywhere.
But the Kansas Cities, the Pittsburghs, they basically know their season's over in April.
Oh yeah.
Forget that.
No,
in Florida, they get there, they look around, it's like the Major League clubhouse with Charlie Sheen and Pedro Serrano. And it's like, I hit the ball very far, but we still suck.
Jovu!
I mean, like when you know it's over. I mean, I can just imagine being an athlete, the psyche. I mean,
how do you play?
How do you
play?
It's got to be, you know that it's over. But I mean, if you go back, and we do have some pretty good things on this. If you go back to '95 when they started the division series, the wild card all started up, 14 seasons. You got some dominant teams that have made it. The Yankees have made it 13 out of 14.
Wow.
Now switch to the National League. Atlanta's made it 11 out of 14. And then you see a slip-off. The Red Sox made it 8 times. They're the next highest. But that 8 times out of 14, and that's good. And then the Cardinals made it 7. But then you just have so many people just mixing in and filling out the rest of the teams.
Yeah.
I mean, different division winners, different. Where now, if you switch to football,
if you switch to football,
it's holding.
It's kind of parity is a lot more. Spreads out.
You have a lot more. In terms of winners overall in the past decade, you got the Steelers and Patriots dominant.
Yeah.
But in terms of making the playoffs, which is what we're talking about, it's a lot different.
Oh, absolutely. When you go back to starting with the 2001-2002 season, you've got Pittsburgh, New England, and Philly all making it 6 out of the last 8. You got Indy 7 out of the last 8, and then you got Green Bay, the Giants, and Seattle trailing at 5 of the last 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I mean, maybe the salary cap's a good thing.
I mean, I think that personally, if anyone favorite of it or aren't you, I am. I just think that, and I'm a huge fan of one of the biggest spending teams in all sports, in the Red Sox. But I just think that it makes it so much more interesting. I just don't get fired up for these Red Sox Royals games anymore. You know, I don't care. You know, whoever the teams that it's just such a disparity between the players and the non-players now, and you're gonna always get your little surprise Tampa teams from last year. You're gonna always get that. In Florida, one year they decide to spend the Marlins when they won. It's too much every year. I think in football, you have so many people coming in, and it's a full organizational effort to scout.
Yeah.
You must scout.
Well, you have to. You have to scout. You got to know when to cut. You got to know when to trade.
Yeah, and everyone's on the.
It's an even playing field.
I think the system is more broke in baseball because you have these huge contracts right up front, almost limitless. You know, Scott Boras is coming in, signing these mega deals, and then it just bloats the salaries. And then where's the small guy fit in there? Then you don't really have X amount to spend.
Because the small guy can't get those guys because he has to end up passing on draft
or even the players.
They
can't pay the rest of the players.
It's completely out of whack to me. And like I said, I'm not in a small market. we're in Boston.
The NFL's going to make another adjustment again, it looks like, in a couple of years.
Well, the collective bargaining agreement's up this year.
Yeah.
So there could be a non-cap.
And they're hoping that that's going to help out, when the Patriots pick again in 2011.
And the thing with the baseball cap is there is a cap, but if you want to ignore it, pay the luxury taxes.
Yeah, but that's like,
it's a joke.
Not everyone's Jerry Jones, right?
Exactly, it's a joke.
Let's move on to Terrell Pryor. It sounds like an intelligent young man.
Terrell,
Ohio State quarterback. He's talking about Michael Vick. It came out. He says, and I quote, "Not everybody is the most perfect person in the world. Everyone kills people, murders people, steals from you, steals from me." I can't even say this.
What major is he, right?
I mean, it's like, come on.
What are you, basket weaving 101?
Another communications course.
Disciple.
I don't think we need to say anymore. I believe Terrell
Speaks for itself.
spoke for himself, exactly.
My God.
What else you gotta say, really?
You better get a PR guy quick. That's for sure.
But then we had our boy Prince putting himself back on the radar. This week.
Red meat, more red meat.
One of the most, I guess see like in the NBA, and what always sticks out for me from this year, Big Baby. After he hit that big shot in the playoffs, he's coming down the court. He's like, into this, and he's like pointing into the stands, cussing up a storm.
He looks like an idiot.
He went wild.
The etiquette in the NBA is always questionable.
It's been shitty for a while.
Place. And I don't want to hear that it is. It's because if he's
He
talking
made a mistake. I think he knew that.
well, whatever. It's never. It's the etiquette in the NBA is the sportsmanship is in the shitter. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's not.
Top the highs of the totem pole.
The baseball, please. Some etiquette. I mean, just look at the fact. Look at it. Look at
the fact that
What's he playing for? They're not making the playoffs.
But yeah,
he's trying to put the spotlight on himself.
Exactly. He rounds second base, whips off his shirt. Here comes the bowling ball steaming towards home plate, right?
I mean, is this
Knocks him
entertaining?
down.
If you're a fan,
It's not
a Brewers fan, are you entertained by that?
Not to mention they lost 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So way to
Yeah, way to pick up the rubber game, Prince.
I guess he got some press because of that.
But I don't know if you guys. I watched the post game and Dave Rigetti was staring at him like he wanted to put a fastball in his ribs.
Yeah.
But just to listen to Prince talk, the guy's asking him questions and he just sounds so like, yeah, whatever. I just did it. It's a show. Let me go.
It's a show.
Like whatever,
And I get pissed off. I get pissed. You don't. For those of you that didn't see, he jumped on the plate with his shirt out, and he jumped up and down onto the plate, and all of his teammates fell to the ground like it was an earthquake, and it's Prince.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I saw one of the funniest quotes that I've seen in a long time this week in Sports Illustrated from Ichiro. And oh my God, I was cracking up. I had to bring it. Apparently he doesn't. I had to bring it. He was talking to a guy from the New York Times. It's his thoughts on the notion that chicks dig the long ball. I quote, "Chicks who dig home runs aren't the ones who appeal to me. I think there's sexiness in infield hits because they require technique. I'd rather impress the chicks with my technique than with my brute strength. Every now and then, just to show I can do that too, I might flirt a little by hitting one up." I thought I was cracking up. I have to bring that up.
That was a funny one.
So to all
He was totally serious.
to all the Red Sox nation who I offended tonight, too bad. I'm the biggest Red Sox fan there is, and Jeter is the man, and that's too bad. I like Jeter, and I got a shirt donated to me, so I wore it.
Never again.
Definitely not in October. But thanks to my co-host Steve Marshall,
See you next week, kids.
Tommy Slats, my stepson Mikey for his Aussie guitar playing, and a special thanks to my wife of almost a year now,
Congratulations.
the editor of the show every week. She's got probably the toughest job
She
out
didn't
of
throw
all.
you out yet.
Not yet, but a couple of threats. But until next week, you know the drill.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
The music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get One shot, do not miss your chance to blow.